VEI0, non-explosive, effusive eruptions. Volcanic explosivity. Index 0 indicates low volcanic activity. Effusive eruptions are non-explosive and involve slow lava outpouring. The material discharged is under 10,000 cubic meters. Eruptions from Earth's crust are steady leaks, not explosions. Shield volcanoes arise as lava flows down the volcano. The famous Kilauea volcano in Hawaii has been erupting for decades, altering the landscape with lava. If the lava flow reaches inhabited areas, these eruptions can destroy property and infrastructure, but rarely endanger lives. Even without explosive activity, VEI0 eruptions are geologically significant and reveal Earth's low-pressure interior to scientists. VEI1, gentle eruption. VEI1 eruptions are still considered relatively mild, though they are a step above non-explosive events. They eject between 10,000 and 1 million cubic meters of material and may produce minor ash clouds and lava fountains. The eruptions typically result in localized damage, with small tephra deposits and limited lava flow. Stromboli volcano in Italy is a prime example of a VEI1 eruption, regularly emitting small bursts of lava and ash that are visible from miles away. These eruptions occur frequently and are often part of a long-term eruptive pattern, making them predictable and relatively safe to observe. Tourists sometimes visit such volcanoes for the spectacle of seeing lava in action. Although VEI1 events are low on the scale, they can still pose risks to people nearby, especially if vents suddenly become more active or if gas emissions increase unexpectedly. They serve as a reminder that even gentle volcanoes are forces of nature that deserve respect. VEI2, explosive eruption. VEI2 eruptions represent a moderate level of volcanic activity, ejecting between 1 million and 10 million cubic meters of volcanic material. These eruptions are more explosive in nature and can produce ash columns reaching up to 5 kilometers into the atmosphere. VEI2 eruptions was Pericotin in Mexico, which began erupting in a farmer's cornfield in 1943 and continued for 9 years, creating a new volcano in the process. These eruptions often involve short-lived explosions and the formation of cinder cones. The ash fallout can cover towns and farmland, disrupting transportation, agriculture, and daily life. Though still relatively minor in comparison to larger events, VEI2 eruptions are powerful enough to warrant evacuation and monitoring. They highlight how even a small-scale eruption can dramatically alter the environment and impact local communities over time. VEI3, severe eruption. VEI3 eruptions are classified as severe and are capable of ejecting between 10 million and 100 million cubic meters of material. These eruptions can send ash plumes as high as 15 kilometers into the sky and often involve pyroclastic flows, lava domes, and crater formation. The 1995 eruption of the Soufriere Hills volcano on Montserrat is a notable example. It destroyed the island's capital, Plymouth, and led to the long-term evacuation of the southern portion of the island. The pyroclastic flows were fast-moving and incredibly destructive, incinerating everything in their path. VEI3 eruptions typically occur less frequently than lower-level events, but are much more dangerous due to their explosive nature and potential for widespread damage. These eruptions are often covered extensively by the media because of their capacity to devastate regions and displace thousands of residents. They mark a turning point on the scale where eruptions transition from local nuisances to national emergencies. VEI4, cataclysmic eruption. Cataclysmic VEI4 eruptions eject 100 million to 1 billion cubic meters of volcanic material. Eruptions can send ash clouds 25 kilometers into the atmosphere, disrupting weather and air transportation. A famous VEI4 eruption was Iceland's 2010 Eyjafjallajökull. Though non-fatal, its ash cloud halted over 100,000 European aircraft and disrupted millions of travelers, costing $3 billion. VEI4 eruptions can spread ash across large areas, posing health risks, reducing visibility, and contaminating water. In addition to ash dispersion, moderate pyroclastic flows and lava domes can increase community risk. A dangerous volcanic threat, VEI4 typically draws international attention due to its disruptive powers. VEI5, paroxysmal eruption. Eruptions that reach VEI5 are known as paroxysmal events. These are massive explosions capable of ejecting between 1 and 10 cubic kilometers of volcanic debris. The ash plumes from VEI-5 eruptions can climb higher than 25 kilometers into the stratosphere and affect global aviation and weather. One of the most historically significant VEI-5 eruptions was that of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, which famously buried the Roman cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum under volcanic ash and pumice. Thousands of people were killed instantly by pyroclastic surges, and entire cities were frozen in time. VEI-5 eruptions can trigger long-term climate effects, such as regional cooling and failed crops. These eruptions are often accompanied by earthquakes, landslides, and tsunamis, especially if the volcano is near water. VEI-5 marks the point at which volcanoes stop being local disasters and begin to have continental, if not global, consequences. VEI-6, Colossal Eruption. VEI-6 eruptions are colossal in scale, ejecting between 10 and 100 cubic kilometers of material. They are rare but incredibly powerful, affecting global climate and ecosystems. One of the most famous VEI-6 eruptions in modern history was Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines in 1991. It released an enormous amount of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere, forming a haze that temporarily cooled global temperatures by up to 0.5 degrees Celsius for 2 years. These eruptions typically cause extensive destruction near the volcano and can displace hundreds of thousands of people. Ash from such events can encircle the globe, disrupting sunlight and weather patterns. VEI-6 eruptions often require international response efforts due to their humanitarian and environmental impacts. They serve as stark reminders of Earth's capacity for sudden, planet-wide change. VEI-7 Supercolossal Eruption. VEI-7 eruptions are among the most powerful natural events on Earth, ejecting over 100 cubic kilometers of material. They are extremely rare, occurring perhaps once every few centuries. The 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia is the most powerful in recorded history and is estimated at VEI-7. It resulted in the year without summer in 1816, where temperatures dropped across the northern hemisphere, crops failed, and famine struck many countries. The eruption killed over 70,000 people directly and indirectly. VEI-7 eruptions can influence human history by causing widespread food shortages and social unrest. The scale of devastation is often so immense that recovery takes decades. These events remind us that the Earth has the power to disrupt not just local environments, but the global balance of life and climate. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the science that shapes our world. Drop a comment below. Which volcanic eruption do you find the most terrifying or fascinating? Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious and stay safe.